Imagine looking up at the night sky and seeing not just one, but two moons shining down on us. That sounds pretty wild, right? Well, what if Earth had two moons? How would that change life as we know it? In this video, we're going to explore exactly what might happen if Earth had a second moon. How it would affect our tides, the seasons, wildlife, and even human life. Let's start with the moons themselves. Our current moon, the one we know and love, plays a big role in how things work on Earth. It's the reason we have tides. It stabilizes our planet's rotation, and it even influences the length of our days. Now, imagine throwing another moon into the mix. This second moon would bring with it a whole new set of dynamics. Depending on the size, distance, and orbit of this second moon, Earth could be facing some pretty serious changes. One of the first things you'd notice is the sky. The view would be dramatically different. There'd be two moons, possibly different in size, each following its own path across the sky. The light at night would be much brighter, as the two moons would reflect more sunlight. This could mean that nights would never be completely dark, which might sound like a cool idea at first, but this would have huge consequences. The balance between day and night is crucial for wildlife, and constant moonlight could mess with their natural rhythms. Animals that rely on darkness to hunt or hide would struggle to adapt. Birds, for instance, might not know when to migrate, and nocturnal predators could become confused, throwing off entire ecosystems. Now, let's talk about tides. Right now, Earth's single moon is responsible for the rise and fall of the ocean's tides. It pulls on the water, creating high and low tides. With two moons, this system would get way more complicated. The gravitational pull of a second moon would combine with the first, likely leading to extreme tides. Some places on Earth could experience super high tides that flood coastal areas, while others could have unusually low tides. This tidal chaos would make life along the coasts much harder. Entire cities might have to be moved inland to escape constant flooding. Not only would the tides be affected, but the seasons might be in for a shake-up too. Right now, the Earth's tilt is stabilized by the moon, keeping our seasons relatively predictable. With a second moon, the gravitational forces at play would shift. This could cause the Earth to wobble more on its axis, leading to erratic and extreme weather patterns. Winters could become harsher, summers hotter, and the weather in general would be more unpredictable. Crops might fail, and food supplies could be affected. Life on Earth would have to adapt quickly to survive these new, more intense seasonal changes. Another thing we need to consider is the impact on humans. Think about what would happen to our sleep cycles if the night was never truly dark. The human body is designed to function with periods of light and darkness. Too much light at night, even moonlight, can mess with our internal clocks. This could lead to sleep problems, increased stress, and even mental health issues. Imagine trying to sleep with a second moon shining brightly outside your window. It wouldn't be easy. People might have to install blackout curtains just to get a good night's rest. But it's not just the physical world that would change. Our culture, myths, and beliefs would be different too. For thousands of years, the moon has been a symbol in stories, art, and religion. If there were two moons, our history would have been shaped differently. We might have had different festivals, different beliefs about the night sky, and even different names for the months. Calendars would be a lot more complicated too. The lunar cycles of two moons would need to be tracked, making timekeeping much trickier than it is today. Now, let's think about space exploration. With two moons, humans might have had twice the opportunity to explore the lunar surface. Our space missions would have been more complicated though. The gravitational effects of two moons could make space travel trickier. The spacecraft navigating through Earth's orbit would have to deal with the combined gravitational pull of two moons, increasing the risk of accidents or miscalculations. On the flip side, with two moons to explore, we might have developed better space technology sooner, pushing us even further into the exploration of space. One of the craziest possibilities is that a second moon could have collided with the original moon, or even with Earth itself at some point in history. Space is full of chaotic forces, and if two moons were orbiting Earth, there's a chance their paths could cross. If that happened, the collision would be catastrophic. It could create massive debris fields around Earth, which might rain down on the planet as meteor showers. The impact would affect the climate, potentially leading to an ice age or other devastating environmental changes. On a more positive note, if we did manage to survive all these changes, having two moons could open some interesting opportunities for humanity. Perhaps, in the distant future, we'd colonize both moons. Lunar bases could be built on each one, serving as stepping stones for further exploration of our solar system. If the two moons were different sizes, one might have better conditions for colonization, such as less intense radiation or easier access to resources. We could mine the moons for valuable minerals, making them a new frontier for human expansion. The idea of two moons might also change the way we view the cosmos. Astronomers would be able to study how two moons interact with each other and Earth in real time. This could help us understand more about the gravitational forces that govern not just our planet, but other celestial bodies in the universe. The presence of two moons could inspire new discoveries and innovations in space, science, and technology, pushing humanity's knowledge of the cosmos even further. Let's take a step back and think about how humans would adapt socially and culturally. With two moons, our fascination with the night sky might be even stronger. We might have developed different types of astronomy, with some cultures focusing on one moon, while others tracked the second. Wars and conflicts might have broken out over control of the moons or their resources. Imagine countries fighting to claim their piece of the lunar pie, just like they do with land and resources on Earth. But let's not forget the impact on everyday life. If you love stargazing, a second moon would make it harder to see the stars. The extra light from the second moon would wash out the night sky, making it more difficult to see constellations or meteors. Astronomers might struggle to get clear observations of distant planets and galaxies because of the additional brightness. Telescopes would need to be much more advanced to block out the glare from two moons. Even human emotions could be affected. The moon has long been thought to influence people's moods and behaviors, especially during a full moon. With two moons, people might experience these effects more intensely. Full moons could become a time of heightened emotions, unrest, or strange behavior. The word lunacy comes from the Latin word for moon, luna, and with two moons, who knows what kind of impact they'd have on our psychology? And what about science fiction? Movies, books, and TV shows would have explored completely different scenarios if we had two moons. Imagine the countless stories about moon bases, lunar wars, or space travelers navigating between two moons. Science fiction writers would have had a field day dreaming up wild scenarios involving twin moons, and our pop culture would be filled with tales of what life is like in a world with two moons. In the end, having two moons would change nearly every aspect of life on Earth. From the environment to wildlife, from human health to space exploration, nothing would stay the same. Earth's ecosystems, weather, culture, and even our understanding of the universe would be completely different. The challenges might be enormous, but so would the opportunities. Humanity has always found a way to adapt to new challenges, and a second moon would be no exception. This is a thought experiment that reminds us of how interconnected everything on Earth is. The moon might seem like a distant, lifeless rock, but it plays a huge role in making life possible here. Adding a second moon to the equation would disrupt that balance, creating a world that's both fascinating and dangerous. Would humanity survive in a world with two moons? It's hard to say for sure, but one thing is certain: life on Earth would never be the same again.